Hello, this is John Sace, host of the podcast, Half Truths and Whole Lies, and as we know, there's a whole lot of lies out there. In this episode, we're going to explore Gen Z conspiracies. Gen Z is an interesting group. They're basically practical and value-oriented, but they have lots of anxieties. Anxieties of the yin-yang. They're worried about this and they're worried about that. They're a bunch of doom scrollers. They have the attention span of 30 to 45 second shorts, and that's about it. So they're easily swayed because of anxieties and their attention span to some pretty freaky conspiracies. We're going to explore the three conspiracies today that Gen Z have. The first is No Gravity Day on August 12th. Basically, apparently NASA has Project Anchor to reduce this problem. The second is snooping on our phones constantly by the government. They are watching you, my friends. They are watching you. Finally, biotechnology zombies created by all of these GLP-1s, Ozempic injections. You are putting some chemicals into you that are biomarkers and you're going to turn into a zombie. We really wouldn't want that. So in this show, we're going to explore all of these issues with my co-host, Carl Sace. Hello, everyone. This is John Sace, the host of the bi-weekly podcast, Half Truths and Whole Lies, along with Carl Sace, my co-host. What we're going to talk about is Gen Z conspiracies. The first one we're going to hit on is No Gravity Day, which is August 12th. Apparently it occurs at 10:33 in the morning. I heard that 7-Eleven was trying to change this to 7-11 in the morning, and they were going to give away free Slurpees.
Yes. They were going to sponsor No Gravity Day, yes.
Actually, because Carl golfs a lot, there's a lot of older guys with man boobs. They're going to like this day, too, because their man boobs won't show up so much. They'll be, like, rising on their chest. They'll look...
True. I'm marketing heavy golf shoes to keep you planted to the ground.
I was just
saying, 5
saying,
pounds of lead in each shoe.
I was thinking that these guys are going to look perky. You might get excited out there on the greens, helping them out. On that day, even though I don't quite believe it, but I'm going to be in the shower in my birthday suit, turning on the water, wanting to see what the hell happens. You know, is the water going to go up?
I think you're just hoping it goes up into your, you're hoping for a free goose.
Actually, I heard about these 3 Canadians. They're going to travel to South Africa to the tallest bridge where there's a commercial bungee jump, and they're going to bungee jump without a bungee cord. It's at 709 feet.
Have they figured out the rate of acceleration and whether they'll be low enough when the event stops, where they'll be?
I also heard about these guys that are going to parachute just in case. They're going to go out of the plane, and if it doesn't work, they'll still have a parachute, but then they'll actually, float. Apparently, it's caused by a black hole wave. That's the theory. And there's some kind of NASA project called Project Anchor to help us all stay anchored. I think they're just giving everybody like straps to put on their chairs.
No, they're digging tunnels, John. They're digging tunnels for the Illuminati so they can hide.
So
I've actually started digging a tunnel in my backyard to try to find their tunnels with no success yet.
What are you going to do? You're going to dig a hole just barely big enough for you and crawl in no matter what happens with you're going to rise up, go down.
I'm going to try to go deep and see if I can intersect their tunnels.
Do you believe any of the actual science behind any of this No Gravity Day?
Yeah, there are black holes that run into each other and they create a gravity wave. They're billions of light years away usually. Yes, there is a gravity wave. By the time it gets to us, it's so dissipated, it only moves our atoms like not even an atom's width. So there are gravity waves. What I've read is that if 2 black holes would have to be within thousands of kilometers, like in our solar system, to actually the wave to have an effect on us. And by the time they're that close, the gravity they're generating would have already destroyed our whole solar system. So
if it did occur, it was supposedly not just going to be an Earth phenomenon. It would happen in our solar system, the moon, everything, the sun, everything. So
some people were thinking it's not 2 black holes, but a device the government's testing for anti-gravity. And what I've read is it would take more energy than we've ever produced in the history of mankind to actually generate enough power to offset gravities.
Do you think this is a Gen Z conspiracy? This is one of them. We're going to get into
No, this
others.
has actually been going on since the 70s. Keeps rehashing. And why is it now? Because we got reels. And what are reels? How do they make money? Advertising, clicks.
Yeah.
So what do people like to click on? Crazy ass conspiracy theories.
That's true. These Gen Zers have a short attention span and they're a doom scroller. So they probably just kind of rehash this stuff on their phone.
Yeah.
I can believe that. Yeah.
And some of those reels are super professionally done. I was kind of amazed. A secret government document has been revealed.
So there is supposedly a document, right? That attributes Project Anchor or something that they're working on.
One of those secret government document. I think it was right underneath the Epstein files. Somebody accidentally stumbled on it when they were reviewing those, and there you go.
Was Epstein, was he cremated or buried? Maybe he wants to rise from the dead. Maybe he wants to rise from the dead. And I never thought about this. If you're all in a bunch of graves and there's no gravity, would any of people start rising from the dead?
That's another topic we have today. Zombies.
We'll hit on zombies a little bit later. We don't quite exactly believe in going to be a no gravity day, but I am taking a precaution. I'm going to strap myself in that shower naked when I turn on the water. So if I start floating,
I hate to say this, but just imagine how you were going to do that and what you were going to strap.
Okay.
It's not a pretty sight in my mind. So
and what are you going to do on that day? Are you going to? Oh, you're going to crawl in that little wormhole. I got
a hole. I'm going to take my dogs and me in there, and we're going to.
I heard you didn't mention your wife. You're going to leave her alone. You're going to say,
I think she's working that day. I wouldn't want to pull her away from work just for no gravity.
Maybe I'll get a little bit of a facelift too on that.
Hold on,
day.
I was going to look up what day of the week was no gravity.
Oh, you want to make sure she was working?
It's a Wednesday. I'm golfing that day. Jesus.
Oh, so you'll be excited by those older guys with the perky man boobs.
Well, I just got to line up my first drive to be exactly on time, and I may have a world record. It will not stop.
That's probably enough comments on that. Let's go to the next issue we've highlighted as a Gen Z one, is basically snooping on their phones, listening in on the phones from the government. Now, one little fact that I looked up, well, you can believe this is a fact or not, that the Trump administration has a 10% stake in Apple purely for access to FaceTime. Did you know that?
No, I never heard that.
So they can access everybody else's input on FaceTime. So they can snoop on all of your conversations.
Where'd you read this, John? I'm curious.
Mother Earth News.
I thought maybe it was the Epoch Times
or the Onion.
The Washington National.
I read the Onion quite a bit.
I do read the Onion myself.
Also, my own personal experience with this is I had everything shut off. I have one of these AI movement cameras on a gimbal mount, and periodically when I wake up in the morning, I come out with my coffee, everything's turned off, but that gimbal mount thing starts swiveling and it starts tracking me, and I'm going, what the hell is going on? I either think it's the government or you tying into my damn.
I think you left the power on.
You
and
are
set up to
watching
track
me.
Movement, so
So that little, and it has a little.
Is the government snooping on us? Yeah, in a way, but I don't think it's on you personally, John. Unless you've called certain selectors, like certain phone numbers in Iraq or Iran, or maybe
I'm assuming, even
China.
though they can't move your little webcam you got.
No, they can't. It's not movable.
Your slightly negative views on Trump has probably put you on their hit list, buddy. They are targeting you, and then actually they might be targeting me because I mentioned orange hair in one episode. Even though I like Trump a little bit, we might be on their metadata collection theory, so be careful.
I did actually research that. I go, okay.
What, the snooping?
The keyword thing, do they really actually use keywords? The answer is no, because everybody says all this stuff. If you say bomb or revolution, marijuana or ICE, they're not tracking you. What they do is they have these selectors, like I said, like certain phone numbers, certain names, certain email addresses, or maybe certain countries that then let them see a pattern. And if they can see a pattern coming from a certain phone number, then they go start monitoring that phone number. I don't know if they need to get a warrant or not.
Do you think that they can figure out how to go into a computer that is Wi-Fi linked? Do you think they can do that? The Wi-Fi is always on in the house, whether it's linked up.
Right. I leave my computer on all the time.
Yes. I do know this. If you're in a sleep mode, people and organizations can access your computer if they obviously know your IP address or something. Right.
If they know your IP address.
So it's
You don't have any security.
Yeah, but I'm saying even if your Wi-Fi has security, a lot of these guys could easily break in. If I leave this, for example, camera on, and for some reason I was being targeted by a group or hackers, they could possibly get in and turn on my camera.
That's like Pegasus, right? Have you read about Pegasus?
The Israeli thing?
Now, the Pegasus, according to what I read, costs, like, to target somebody costs like $100,000.
Each targeting operation?
Can actually go into your phone and take over and use the microphone and the camera without you hitting a link or clicking on anything. I think the phone has to be on, so if your phone's off, they can't do it. But if the phone's on, that's what's so dangerous about it. Once you know it's out there, companies like Apple or Microsoft, they can't really figure out ways to block it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a game with Trojans and hacking. It's always like, okay, I'm going to do this to stop you, and then they figure out a way around it.
Obviously, the Israeli intelligence organization has amazing capabilities, and we've seen that with that Iranian-Lebanese conflict and what they could do. Anyway, both of us sort of agree there is the ability to do it.
Right.
And I think possibly why Gen Z believes this a little bit more than others is they're on their phones all the time, and they see that there's ads that target them, and they see everything. They figure out if Google and Meta can understand exactly what they're doing, then the government's probably even worse. So they have this view that these guys are spying on me if they want.
But they sell that data. The government doesn't monitor it because they'd have to have even more resources than they have. They just buy the data from these companies that you allowed them to collect because you didn't read the privacy statement. You just said accept, and you downloaded the software.
Right. And I think both of us sort of agree that there's levels of government snooping that could occur, and depending on what the group is, or hackers or Israelis or the level, it's quite possible, but it's costly. No one's going to just target a random typical Gen Z or us.
I think what you're seeing is what we said. You're talking about something maybe with Siri or Alexa on, that data supposed to not be collected, or you search something once and then all of a sudden it starts popping up and you're getting ads for it.
Yeah, that is tiresome. You cannot almost do anything without getting a new ad. Okay, so let's move on from that and let's go to the final area we're going to discuss before we get into call-ins, and that is the idea that biomedical means targeting with us with viruses or whatever, that they're destroying in some way the human body in ways that are either making us almost zombie-like, or they're putting triggers into these chemical things that are triggered by another thing that they introduce. So especially with the rise in vaccines for flu and COVID and now GLP-1s, people are getting injected. Think about it. How many times you're getting injected with some chemical? You're not even just taking oral stuff anymore. Who knows what potentially could be in that? Obviously, we have controls or stuff, but I could understand maybe the worry of this generation about how many things are being injected into their body. Whether you agree with the Maha movement or not, people are worried about all this stuff. And this idea that there is actually potentially zombies, people have been seen on the street just staring vacantly into the ether, zonked out, whatever. So there is anecdotal that says, hey, we're destroying ourselves through all of this. What is your opinion on that?
Vaccines, I made vaccines, so I'm a fan of vaccines. I think the immune system's not understood perfectly well, so everybody reacts different. I don't really think they impact your emotions that much or the way you see things, but GLPs, there's actually been a bunch of studies ongoing about how they dampen your desire for food. People are talking about GLP face or Wegovy face or whatever they're saying, and they're saying that it may also dampen other addictive kind of natures or emotional kind of outputs, so that it may impact your relationship in a way that you aren't as expressive to your partner as much as you were. So they're calling it stuff like GLP face.
Oh, so their emotional reactions are somewhat muted.
I was watching some videos on that and then reading some stuff. Yes, kind of had no proof yet.
But also the idea, I think, of the wasting away. Remember, you have no food desire. People are so focused on being thin, and there's like anorexia and all that, even without these GLP-1s. So you start introducing that, some of these people are they lose their muscle, they're just wasting away. And, maybe emotionally and physically. What is your view of the kind of the body wasting away aspect of this?
I think that links in with causing you to have muted things like we're talking about. I was just reading Ozempic personality. It involves feeling of flat or meh. But when your body isn't as strong because you're not exercising, you're just taking this drug and it's losing both muscle mass and fat and everything else. I just don't think you have the energy that you used to have. There's these reports of people just, not having that same desire. Things that used to bring them joy aren't as exciting anymore, whether you're playing pickleball or golf or a hobby.
Before you go on, though, here, I want you to demonstrate. I'll demonstrate Ozempic face.
Have you seen it? I don't really know.
Show me your version of Ozempic face. I'd like to see it.
It's my normal resting bitch face.
No. Oh, Jesus. That is.
That's how I look. That's how I look when I go to a restaurant. My wife says, "Quit being a pain in the ass."
I figured that's your wife. You will look at your wife on. That's why you look at her all the time. So that's why on No Gravity Day you're sending her out to work while you go in your hole.
It is a Wednesday. No Gravity Day.
Okay. Well,
okay. It's just tiring to walk around like this all day.
I know. You don't want to smile.
It's hard to remember, and then people think you're a creep. What's that guy want?
God, I wish I could video you on the greens on No Gravity Day with all these heavy-set guys getting excited.
The 3 guys I'm with aren't heavy-set. They're pretty much mine, Probably a little overweight, like the rest of.
What about the idea of some of these diseases, biotech weapons? Maybe, there's been this theories about Chinese introducing stuff, including COVID originally, that maybe there is some kind of marker that could get by another chemical and being introduced into the system, say through GLP-1s, that all of a sudden some disease or some zombie-like state occurs. What's your view of that?
My view of that, possible. There's all kinds of biological weapons. The hard part is delivering them and actually sustaining them. In a sense, like a virus will die within hours outside the body. Some are more stable and longer lasting than others, and that was shown with the whole COVID pandemic.
There is things that get triggered, just like in your immune system. You could have something triggered and all of a sudden start affecting your body at a later date. Just like you have suppressed stuff like shingles and.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's interesting. But what triggers shingles? They really don't know.
Ozempic face. Ozempic face. Oh, Ozempic face triggers shingles.
You think it'd be a code word or something? Or 2 drugs? That does make sense. But you have to get both of them in everybody because everybody hasn't had chicken pox.
No.
Especially this younger generation, right?
That's true. Most of them have not.
No, we couldn't use shingles. But what has everybody had? A cold?
Everybody's been exposed to COVID. Which is a variation of cold, right? Yeah, similar thing.
You'd have to find something. And then you're saying this other chemical would trigger that to become virulent again and actually worse than it was and actually somehow mutate and attack your synapses. So that's what they figured out. Okay.
What I've heard is that all these drug companies, they have GLP-1, and once they trigger it, they've got this new drug that they developed that will suppress the other problem that they've created.
Was this a movie or something? Or a book you read? I'm like,
how do you come up with this crap?
I'm kind of like, wow.
We've got millions of syringes stacked up in
gene therapy, right? You've heard of that. New science, that's the hot new biological project because you can correct things with one shot.
I think you've been using it on your dog Jake back there. Gene therapy.
That's Piper. Jake's dead.
Okay, sorry.
Jake was dead like 15, 20 years ago.
God, I've got Ozempic memory. Whatever.
I'm more worried about dementia than I am about cardiovascular issues. I'm hoping a real hard heart attack, whack, and I'm dead. Biggest concerns is I'm the youngest brother, and I'm watching these 3 older guys start to fade. So it's like,
I think you should go out with the bungee jump without a bungee. Like those guys in Africa.
I doubt I'd bungee jump with a bungee.
But again, those guys are Canadians. I want to point that out. Those 3 guys going to South Africa that jump without a bungee jump are Canadians. Let's make that point.
3 guys? I thought you just made that up.
No, I did. So anyway, okay, so
John said he had to tell the truth because he knew I'd look that shit up.
I have to tell the truth once in a while. Actually, yeah, I do. Once in a while. Okay, so let's get into, I think we've covered these issues. Let's get into the various call-ins we're going to have.
All right.
But I'd like to say before we do the call-ins, we're just going to do audio call-ins because my pre-screener has watched a lot of these guys, and we've had to reject a lot of these video guys because they kept giving giving Carl and me the finger, or they kept cussing at us a lot for being stupid. So we screened the callers to only have reasonable, what I'll call reasonable callers. They're going to be audio callers. So with that, the first one is pre-screened, and all I know is he has got a girlfriend named Big Bertha. Let's listen.
Gen Z, I'm 25. My name is Bob Haskell. Calling in because I'm a little worried. I've got some anxiety. I'm kind of a big guy. I lift weights a lot. I'm like 250, and my girlfriend is a little overweight. She's like 375.
That's pretty damn heavy.
Tummy. I nicknamed her Big Bertha, but I love the lady. I'm very worried about the no gravity day because she's so heavy. It supposedly lasts for 7 seconds. She'll rise up, maybe 15 feet, and then she'll come down like a water balloon and just blow up. And she lands, smashes back down. I'm really thinking about this, and it's driving me crazy. I've been using my phone, looking up psychiatrists, but it hasn't helped. I'm very worried about no gravity blowing up my lady. What do you guys think? Should I...
Oh, God, I think a tether.
Wow.
A tether.
Tether.
It's August the 12th, so just, tie her down.
I think, our best advice, even though we don't believe this is going to happen, is just put her in a chair, maybe put some bolts in the chair to the ground, and then put her you probably need a...
Wrap her in.
Well, but I don't know if
the house
fit.
might rise, but, at least the impact of that.
Yeah, but how do you strap in a 375-pound girth? I mean, what do you got? Like
at Home Depot, and you get those extra long 20-foot straps.
Oh, those ratcheting straps. You start cranking down.
Yes.
Wow, she might be a little worried. Okay.
I wouldn't be too anxious.
I'd actually recommend GLP-1s, even though we're sort of not.
If you don't want a zombie, it's fine.
Okay. We think he's anxious, but he shouldn't worry too much. He just needs to put her on a diet, I think.
He likes Big Bertha the way she is, so I'm just saying strap her down. And hold on, too.
He must like big women. She likes big men, I guess. Right? It's kind of an interesting caller. Let's see what... We're going to get random calls here. Let's see this one here.
Hello. My name is Kelly Quant, and I'm a member of the Lincoln Log Republicans. I know for a fact that the FBI under Joe Biden was monitoring me and my spouse's phones and our baby monitors. One night when we had put our baby to bed, who, by the way, was conceived by IVF from
she's pointing that out.
Well, I don't want to say, but let's just say I'm a big Doge fan. Anyway, there we were just watching Emily in Paris when over the baby monitor, we actually hear Christopher Ray say, "These are boring me. Billy, get me another cup of coffee. WTF." Then both of our phones just shut down and rebooted. Scary, 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 right?
Wow.
Christopher Ray, he was the FBI director under Biden.
What's he doing listening to two lesbians are nice people? Why?
That's what he said. The Lincoln Log Republicans. I think that's some kind of LBGQT Republican group.
There's definitely, there's trans in the Republican Party. There's
But why would Biden's? I thought Biden was all for LBGQT. So why would his FBI director be monitoring him? That's weird.
Well, Biden, remember,
it was Christopher Ray. I mean, how dang?
Well, Biden was going senile, so I think he was switching parties in his brain. In his brain, Biden thought he was now a Republican.
Maybe when they were snooping on their phone, they heard some kind of revolutionary... Because the phone shut down, they rebooted. That's because Christopher figured out, oops, I've been overheard on the baby monitor.
So maybe Biden in his lucid day told him to target these people, but Biden is now switching to the Republican Party. Well, I have no clue. It makes no sense, but it's a fascinating story.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, this goes back to the old days before Trump. Who do you think is better now, Biden or Trump?
Who, me?
They're both got their issues. lives, right? We'll say that.
I'm worried about being monitored.
That's true. We don't want to switch gears here with these two women. And the fact that they maybe are tied into the guy that runs Tesla, that's an interesting thing. I know he's been donating sperm to everybody and his brother.
A lot of people, yeah. That just came out.
He's populating the world. That was a fascinating call. We almost don't know what to do with that one. Let's go to another call in. This guy apparently worked as a checkout guy, the pre-screener says, in a bodega. So
hello, my name's Bodie. I'm a checkout guy on the bodega in Manhattan area. I scan, people coming through the line with a little bit of groceries and the sandwiches. And there's a lot of rich gals that come through here. And what I've been noticing is a trend over the last year or so. These gals, these rich gals, their face looks pretty good, but they're skinny. And they're gaunt. They look like death warmed over, and I don't know. I've seen hundreds like this. And I say, well, you've been losing weight. And they say, oh, I got to lose some more. I'm not skinny enough. Wow. And then I seen a few of them get depressed, and they buy Trank from me. That potent tranquilizer. I sell it for really cheap to help these ladies, these rich ladies. They come back in, though, and they even look like zombies. I mean, I'm telling you, zombies. I'm still starting to think we're World War Z here, and GLP-1 is ruining all these gals' lives. I've heard maybe there's a marker out there in their system now. GLP-1 is like a biotech kind of zombie weapon. Turn all these rich ladies into zombies, and maybe they'll take out their fat husbands. I don't know, but as a checkout guy at a bodega, I'm worried about the world. Tell me your thoughts on this.
A lot there. He's got.
What's weird is
Trank. He got zombies.
It's hard for me to believe that rich women getting skinny are going to turn to Trank for their depression.
Well, they looked up. Remember one of
San Francisco, there has been a bunch of Trank issues.
Well, I was going to comment that one of our nieces said we look like death warmed over. Now we have a call-in saying these ladies look as bad as we do, and they're apparently young, and they even have facelifts. Think about a lady with a facelift and as skinny as hell. That might not be the best. And had I guess this guy's getting scared because he sees all these rich ladies, because he said he was in a bodega in Manhattan. I've been to bodegas in Manhattan. There's some rich ladies that go through there. So do you like the rich ladies that are gaunt, or do you want them to be zombie-like?
I'm looking at pictures of Ozempic face.
Well, all I know is that
before and after. I guess it's eye of the beholder.
One of the things, Carl, is, since Trank is a animal tranquilizer, I think Jake or Pickle, whatever your dog is called back there, is under a tranquilizer behind you on your bed. He's got Trank. Piper's got Trank in his system, so you might be.
It's a she.
She might have Trank.
I think it's because she's 13 years old, maybe 14.
I think that dog is taking
arthritis in her hip.
You have any other comments about the zombie potential?
No, the bodega boy. It was fascinating. I understand his concerns. We did talk about the GLP maybe being a trigger for some other biomarker.
But
I'm surprised he'd heard about it, but he must be an avid fan.
Well, one of the things, though, if you are, say, your emotional reaction's kind of slow, and you've been doing GLP-1s, and you're getting depressed because you're not feeling so good, and depression can be fairly rampant. I think women are more prone to depression than men, I believe. You could imagine them taking medication to help their depression, and tranquilizers especially used to be, especially with rich women, used to be all the rage. So I can believe that medicating themselves after medication.
Well, I don't know, John. I'm reading here that actually GLP-1s might help with depression. Evidence suggests that GLP-1 can actually improve mental health, found that these medications can help reduce symptoms of depression and improve cognitive clarity, potentially due to their anti-inflammatory effects in the brain. Release from food noise, obsessing about food and stuff, reduces anxiety because they don't worry about it. They're obsessive thoughts, and when you get rid of them, it lowers your anxiety, which will probably help with depression. And they're skinnier. Let's say part of your depression was caused by your overweight, impacted your your life. So kind of going, Bodega Boy is seeing probably a weird cross-section of America, which I would say is Manhattan.
Blame it on New York syndrome. Okay.
Everybody in New York's neurotic, right?
And I heard their salsa sucks. My salsa came from New York City. New York City. Okay.
I don't think any of our listeners will have rememred that commercial.
Pace bend. I think we have a caller from China, Shanghai. I think the pre-screener says he's a little bit weird. But anyway, we'll talk to this guy.
I've been listening to you two make fun of this zombie virus, but you don't know what you are talking about. COVID was just a test bed for what kind of vector to use. What do you think the Chinese government is doing in Xinjiang with the Uyghurs? They are working on CWD, chronic wasting disease, using prions. Those balloons in 2023, remember them? That's how they will deliver it. And since it takes several years to manifest, no one will notice and just blame it on the next generation being a bunch of wasters. Dumbass Americans. Just sit back and watch some reels while everything goes to hell around you. Goodbye, you assholes.
This guy seems like he has a vendetta. Vendetta, So he's tied in everything. The balloons monitoring the bases, COVID, markers in your system, and Americans being stupid.
Unraveled the whole conspiracy for us.
Even throw on prions, which I love. Man, we've got so much here, we could spend a day on it, but we're only going to spend a couple minutes. So,
they don't know prions are the things that misfolded amino acids or just maybe proteins. But anyway, they cause stuff like mad cow disease.
Well, so now you've tied mad cow into COVID, biomarkers, zombies, trank, everything else. We've got it all linked. This is one huge conspiracy. Zombie face. Whoa.
Always the Chinese or the Russians, John. It's always the Chinese or the Russians.
Our biggest adversaries. Yes, indeed.
Pretty sure they're turning us into a land of zombies.
Yeah. So, they're hoping that we all get GLP-1 to death.
Well, they're doing multiple fronts. TikTok.
Yeah. You did mention before this that you were deer hunting in Wyoming and you saw constant wasting deer disease.
Chronic wasting disease is prevalent in the deer herds now.
You mentioned 80% of the deer.
I could have swore I read that 80%.
And what
of the deer
was it, Wyoming or Utah? I can't recall. But you don't eat that because you might get mad cow disease.
They haven't shown it.
Anyway, there is such a thing as chronic wasting disease. I think he even mentioned that it's hard to transmit from animal to human.
They said that it's been detected in 95% of the herds, and it's 20% of the animals, 30% in white-tailed.
Even COVID was supposedly maybe infrequently, but a potential transmission from, remember they talk about bats to humans?
Pets to humans,
And then there's been bird flu, about transmission from pets, for animals.
So I wouldn't mess with it but it's hard to detect that they have it until the final symptoms come on, which they kind of look like zombies. They start drooling and stuff and wandering around in circles. And
just think if that crossed over along with the GLP-1s and all this other shit, we would be like combination chronic wasting zombies with
skinny people slumbering around.
And I guess it is World War Z.
But they probably wouldn't be like trying to devour you or anything.
Okay, you just go up and start slapping them. Pop, pop, pop.
You just push them out of the way.
You don't have to do all the stuff they do in those.
They
movies.
wouldn't even react.
Well, that was fascinating call from an angry Chinese guy. We need those kind of calls once in a while. The screener says this guy is just some kind of waster gamer kid, or young guy at least, Gen Z gamer. So
I'm a gamer. I live in my grandpa's house. I'm 26, and my handle in games is known as Ladies Man. But that's far from the truth. I'm only Ladies Man in games. I'm really sort of an ugly, duckling idiot outside of that. I've been hearing about this no gravity day. I've been doing some really weird fantasizing. You know what 26-year-old in basements do? Weird fantasizing. I started thinking about this.
That's what you do, Carl.
What if I could get a gal? We could experiment with the idea of procreation on ships going to another galaxy. In other words, sex in space, no gravity sex. I kept fantasizing about it. I was getting kind of turned on for a gamer. So my fantasy is, I really think this is kind of cool. We need to experiment. I was thinking if we could do like a mob thing, get about 20,000 people on the earth to have sex during those 7 seconds. Maybe we could even do it. Have everybody that can do it in those 7 seconds have sex, and then we can see if procreation works in outer space and no gravity. I think this is an experiment I'm wanting to do for NASA, and I want to do it for myself. My life is a little lonely. What do you think of this idea? 7 seconds of bliss with all of these people. Might be 30 million people. And we have a good database. Give me what your thoughts are.
I think you would have a good database, because even if it was random and you could figure out who had sex for the 7 seconds, you'd have a large database. But yeah, collecting all that information might be a little hard. But then we have the government snooping, so we could tie that into it.
We don't need your database or volunteers.
Yeah, we just use all the phones to figure out what happened. Did you get pregnant? Was the baby born well? Carl, I know you're going to sign up for this. Except actually, you told me during your 7 seconds, you said you're sending your wife off to work. That's what you said.
Well, that's because I really don't think there's going to be an issue.
I think you're going into that tunnel with your dog, so you got to be careful. Careful. No transmission between human and dog.
CWD. Oh, God.
What the heck? That
gravity day loops back into zombie bioweapons.
But I think the guy has a point. There has been discussions, about long-term space travel. I mean, this is a science fiction kind of thing. How will procreation and how will that work well or not? And then all the issues about, interactions with people and jealousy and all that in a fairly cramped environment. Gonna be a big deal at some point.
I just don't think 7 seconds is, even for you, John, long enough.
They're just talking about this orgasmic point, the 7 seconds. Carl, I can see you don't want to address this very well. You don't want to address this. I think it is a fascinating science. I've read a lot of science fiction books about this idea of generational things. It's going to take generations to reach another.
Oh yeah, like a
long-term
world, a traveling world,
a spaceship that would have travel, and you have to have your own organic gardens and different things to be able to, using a lot of sunlight to power everything. There's been lots of books about that. We don't have a lot of data on that because I don't think they're allowed to do it in the space station. We have no data. So yes, this is a good database, metadata.
I'm curious, what day is today? I really want to look into how many people sign up for it.
These call-ins are fascinating, even when they pre-screened all the video guys out that are nuts. Apparently, these guys are not nuts. These are all normal people.
These are normal Americans.
Normal Americans calling in. So let's go to the next call-in. All I know is I heard the name was Sheila. Sheila sounds like an Australian name to me, just like Bruce and Sheila.
Hello, my name's Sheila, and I'm so much more. I'm really excited about No Gravity Day. I'm a real buxom lady. My boobs are as big as watermelons, and I see this as the same as No Bra Day. I am gonna get a boob uplift for free. This is kind of turning me on. My boobs are gonna rise like 6 or 8 inches on No Gravity Day, and I'm gonna take a video, and that's gonna be the best I've ever looked. I might even get a modeling job. This is crazy. 7 seconds of no bra. Wow, I gotta thank those NASA engineers if they're the cause of this. I wish they could extend it from 7 seconds to 24 hours. I'm never gonna be as excited as this. 21 and so much more. Thank you for taking my call.
21 and so much more. I don't understand why. Boy, she must not like bras, because 7 seconds of being out of the bra doesn't sound like it would have much effect. 24 hours maybe, but...
obviously she thinks that NASA's creating this no gravity thing. She hasn't really looked into the whole black hole issue, but...
yeah, apparently NASA's trying to prevent it, right? Or do something about it. But yeah, the black holes, she's happy happy. We talked about what other people are going to be doing. She's just not wear a bra. She seems very happy about that.
I think she's going to be slightly disappointed. But I don't want to burst her balloons, so let her ride.
I'm trying to think about this. If everything moves up, let's say that you're on the ground and you start floating.
Gravity is what's pulling them down.
But I'm saying, say they believe that they'll float.
Well, we do have data on this finally, John. We've had women in space. We need to find out what their comments were about how they felt.
We believe this girl's a little excessive in her belief that not having to wear a bra for 7 seconds is like a great thing. Maybe it is for 7 seconds.
Yeah, 24 hours I can understand.
And I feel for women.
Have that pressure on your shoulders and your whole back.
I feel for women that have to do this. As a man, I couldn't even imagine that. I think we have a guy. It's related to a sportscaster next.
Hello, can you hear me? My name is Keyshawn. I'm the son of Charles, that announcer on NBA. That fat guy that doesn't know a damn thing and says a bunch of nonsense on TV. I wouldn't listen to his NBA recommendations at all.
I don't know if he's a guy's an NBA inside the NBA fan.
I'm starting to get anxious. I'm starting to date the gals. I'm 22 and I'm 300 pounds and I'm 5'4", so I look like a damn bowling ball, but I got a lot of black hair on my head. That's a nice thing. I got good hair. Anyway, I'm anxious about GLP-1s because my daddy recommended it. I'm starting to get a little thinner, but my hair's falling out. I don't want to look like my dad. I don't want to bald head. I don't want to act like my dad. I don't want to be associated with that boy. I don't like him. His reputation doesn't even do me any damn good with the ladies. All they want is a good-looking guy. Should I just keep taking these GLP-1s and ruin my hair? Or should I stop and just diet? Should diet or GLP-1s? Thank you for taking my call.
Well, this also reminds me of a trend, looks maxing I've heard about, where these guys, these influencers do this weird extreme stuff to look better, from breaking the bones in their face to all kinds of injections, chewing on guards that improve your muscle tone in your cheeks. There's so much weirdness about these young guys being worried about their looks instead of their personality. Kind of like you're focused so much on your looks, but your personality should be worked on. So with that little aside, what is your view of the hair loss in GLP-1?
I'd have to say, if GLP-1 do cause hair loss, I was just kind of thinking of what advice I'd give him, and my advice is, it depends on what's more important to you. So far, GLP-1s do pretend better health in overweight people. And yeah, there's other side effects, loss of hair, kind of lots of emotions and desire.
A guy at 5'4", what did he say his weight was? I can't remember, but
300.
A guy at 5'4", and I would say the target weight of a 5'4" guy is around 150, 160. Yeah. It's a huge amount of weight. And I would think he might startle a young lady that he was going on a date with when they first see him, unless he's like using some false picture in his dating app. Unless he's got a weird view on his dating app, he's going to have a hard time unless his personality is quite extremely great, better than his dad's. The guy on the Inside Live NBA or whatever the hell it's called, he's got some weird comments.
I'd go with the bald, lose some weight.
Remember Charles made this comment about San Antonio women. He didn't like going to San Antonio because they're all fat. That's what he said. So he pissed off San Antonio. I guess he's trying to be better looking, GLP-1. So maybe
he's doing GLP-1s along with
his son.
I think the side effects and stuff, the loss of hair, if it's shown on you and it's work, but a lot of them are subjective in nature and haven't been totally proven, like the Ozempic face thing and the loss of desire, on how many people are using to get that. That's why I would go with the weight loss and the you might be mistaken for your father and get like ahead of the line at clubs and
potentially. The problem with like Ozempic and a lot of the people that go off them gain their weight back. Once you get your weight down, you got to have a different philosophy about your diet, unless you want to be on it all your life. That is all of the call-ins. So we're going to switch.
Starting to freak me out a little bit.
That is it. And we're going to do our version or take of what these issues are. first one was related to No Gravity Day. Honestly, we don't believe it, but I'm gonna prepare just in case. I'll sit in a chair and strap down or get in my car and put on my seatbelt. Other than that, I am not doing anything for No Gravity Day. Now, the idea of snooping by the government on us, I believe the potential is real. Is it targeting random everyday people? No, there'd have to be an absolute reason, in my view. They have the ability to do it. They really want to do it. It's costly, but it's there. I don't think it's really happening to the average person at all. And then finally, the biochemically one zombie thing. I think it's kind of an artifact that these people are overuse of GLP-1s to get to some desired physical perfection. Once they get off them, they're not going to like it because they're going to gain their weight back, and it probably has side effects. So unless you absolutely need to use them, do not, because it's really a mental change you need to work on to keep your weight down and your looks. Don't be dependent. That's my take, or whether you like it or not.
All right, for once, someone to be shorter than John. Gravity Day, not going to happen. Don't worry about it. I'll forget about it in less than 2 weeks. Is the government snooping? Yes, but not on you, unless you are a terrorist or a criminal or maybe heavy Democratic supporter. And 3, biological zombie drugs. Forget about it. It's not worth doing. It's too expensive. And what are you going to get? Do the Chinese really want to wipe out the United States, their number one customer? Doesn't even make sense. Quit worrying about China. It's always the Russians. That's my take, whether you like it or not.
Thanks to everyone for another exciting and enjoyable episode. I'd like to thank all of the listeners out there for their continued support and the various call-ins from these very normal people. We appreciate it. Please subscribe, and as always, half-truths and whole lies. We look for the truths behind all of the lies.